Hello, my name is Qiniso Khumalo, a NARISEC participant or NARISEC member. I joined in 2018, the final intake. I can't really remember the date exact, but it was the last intake in 2018. How I joined, it was a friend of mine who told me about the application forms that were being received or being collected at the speaker's office in Meyatin. So we both went there as friends, and then we got the forms there. Then we filled them in and sent them in. Then we got SMSs that we should come and do what you call this interviews. So we went there. We did the interviews. The interviews went well. They were just asking about our background. We did everything quite well. And then after that, we got SMSs that we were actually accepted. And they told us what to bring, the type of clothing and stuff like that, cosmetics and all of that, and the date when we're supposed to departure. And then that the day came, we showed up there in numbers as the Gauteng group from the Val. So then we went to Pretoria in a hotel called Arcadia Hotel. So we got there, we stayed there like 3 days, I believe. They were just preparing us, giving us the induction on what we'll partake on the journey and stuff like that. So we did that, it was fun. And then after that, we left, we went to Tabanchu in Free State. That's where everything started. That's where everything changed. We got there as, what can I say? We had our like lousy personalities from home. And then when we got there from the gate, that's where everything changed. Basically, the weather changed outside. That's what I mean. We met the soldiers, the Navy and the Army forces for the first time ever. And then it was just crazy. We were singing, I remember when we got there, we were in the bus having our fun. And then when we got there, everything just changed. They took us out of the bus, yelling at us, shouting at us, and we were just scared for our lives. So basically, I would say for almost all of us, including myself, that's where the journey began. That's where everything started, basically. The real life or the real test or the character development test or journey, that's where it exactly began. So that's where it all started. Then we were taken to our spaces. We were like the Gauteng group. And then we met other provinces as well that were already there. So we got there at the Tabanchu campus. We got our induction. They gave us our beebs that we were wearing with the NARISEC emblem on it, orange in color, to shine bright, obviously, in every hidden spot. And then we were given our, what you call this, places to sleep, utensils, the stuff that we had to use to eat food, which was weird because we were using pans. They were called varkpans. And it was quite a cold place, and those things, they would freeze in your hand. It was really crazy, but like, yeah, it was like an experience of a lifetime. So we got to our places, and then basically the first morning was crazy. They woke us up early in the morning at like 4 a.m. with water, by the way. The ladies had their own place to sleep, and then the guys, we had tents. So we slept in the tents, but they were nice tents. Like in each tent, there was like 12 beds for every person, and then everyone had like a blanket and a pillow, and then, but luckily, because of the cold weather, the tents had like air conditioners, luckily, but they would break down from time to time, so we would suffer from time to time. In the morning, we would form outside at squat as like a big bus of only just guys, and then we'd have to go to a place called the mess deck, whereby we all ate our breakfast, lunch, and supper, basically. But it was up the hill, so all of us, we had to move up the hill in our flanks. But we were taught to, or ordered to, sing before we get there. So if we didn't sing, we couldn't actually march there. So we did that. You can imagine a squad of just a lot of people, different tribes, different languages, you know, different ethnic groups. So we had to learn the songs from the spot, because if we didn't sing, we couldn't move. And we were punished each and every time, basically, if we didn't comply to anything. So we would do that, we would sing and get there. And when we get to the top or next to the mess deck, we would then meet the ladies, and they would be doing the same thing, singing as well. Then we would eat. In the mess deck, it couldn't accommodate all of us because we were like 800 if I can remember clearly. So I think inside it could only just accommodate like 20 or 25 of us. So you can imagine 25 people inside, the rest is still standing outside in the cold. So when you had to eat, you were only just given like 1 minute to eat whatever that was. So basically we were taught by the soldiers to just swallow everything and you chew outside. So we did that and it was crazy, but like I said, lifetime experience. So when it comes to training or building of character, we were trained by the military at most, but we did also have like classes too, which had like facilitators, which they would teach us about youth development and stuff like that. But mostly where the character was mostly built was during outside, basically, whereby there was like the military personnel and they would train us so hard, really hard. Like they would push each and every person to the limit. People were crying, excluding myself, of course. But yeah, it was crazy. Basically, their mandate was whatever personality or crazy personality that you had was to just take it out and create a new person out of you. So most people changed, I would say. Because if I can remember clearly, some of the people, I've seen people go there as just useless people who couldn't listen, who didn't care, who were just lousy, changing and cry with tears, by the way, changing, being to straight people and people who had like obedience and manners and all of that. So they taught us in form of drilling, in form of partnership and teamwork, in form of following orders and all of that, and instruction, basically, the hard way. Like I said, it was just training that we have never experienced, that we never thought in our lives we would ever encounter. But it was at the same time enjoyable. Like the more we did it, the more we little bit got used to it, then it helped. Then, like I said, we had classes where we would learn about youth development. So we would be in groups. They'll teach us how to work in teams. They would ask us to like provide ideas on how to develop the communities, the youth at large. You know, in South Africa, since, you know, South Africa, the employment rate isn't really good for the young people. So we were taught to at least adjust. And when we leave or when we graduate in the future, we can go outside and help the others, basically. So yeah, it was really enjoyable. I won't lie, some people did quit because it wasn't really for everybody. For some people, it wasn't their cup of coffee. So I saw people quitting and just going home. But the people who knew what they wanted there, who really knew in their core that, okay, they wanted this, they didn't join the program because of they were following friends or following other people. It literally came individually from them. They stayed there, including myself, until the finish line, basically. So it was really good, very enjoyable. So then within the learnership, we reached the finish line, basically, within the character building development. So we graduated in Saldanha Bay in Cape Town, and then we had Beatvest people that came to recruit us, the Gauteng group, to continue within the training, to come and train with them. So we did that. We left from Cape Town. Then there was like a 2-week, I believe 2-week gap in between, whereby each and every one of us had to do community service. Basically, you could pick a spot wherever you wanted to go. We were given like logbooks to carry with ourselves every day, wherever you went, and do your community service there, contribute, and then just sign in every day. Or the person who was the leader of wherever you went would sign on the logbook itself as evidence, basically. So we did that. I went to a daycare in my hometown, basically. Some people went to police stations and old age homes. I went to a daycare. I was there as I was basically giving entertainment to the kids and all of that. So they enjoyed, I enjoyed myself. And then after the 2 weeks, then we went to Gijima. It's in Pretoria, in Hammanskraal. It's a training academy for security. That's where the entire Gauteng group went. So we went there. So our course continued. Now we were being taught how to be security officers, basically. So we were taught there. Very nice, not as harsh and strict like the military, but a little bit closer. So we were taught there and everything. Our characters were already built. So we got there already with good discipline, most of us. Well, some people obviously still didn't change. Or when they were only just disciplined in the military, and then when they got there, they saw that it's just too easy and relaxed. Then they changed to basically whatever they wanted to be. But most of us kept it straight, you know. So we got there trained as security officers. I won't lie, most of us didn't really agree to the idea of being security officers. We did not expect it. It was the last thing basically in our mind. But the more we learned about how to be security officers, basically the more most of us got to engage and adapt and actually accept it as part of our lifestyles now, as part of us basically. So we got to enjoy, most of us improved, most of us, you know, showed our characteristics, you know, that now we are good, now we can actually tackle the world basically and be good citizens, you know. So we had that and it was fun, and we were just having a lot of fun, building ourselves, working as teams, working as friends and family. We were having like a huge bond. It was really pleasant. So at the Qiniso Academy, we spent like 3 months within our training. And then after that, like basically we graduated, got our certificates. And then we got deployed into different sites. I went to like a prestigious mining group. And then I got there, and I'm not gonna lie, me being a person who also didn't really accept being a security at that time, even if I was learning in Qiniso how to be a security officer, still a part of my heart still not accepted basically, because I never saw myself as one, because I had very little information about it. So I got to the site, and then I got there and I just saw white people for the first time ever in the security industry. And then I was like so surprised and amazed that, okay, how does this happen? And they were very friendly and very welcoming. So they got to teach me how everything works in the control room. So basically everything I learned it, very fun, quite tough at some point, but it's how it's supposed to be basically. So I would say within me and my belt character, it helped me a lot in terms of thriving within real life challenges basically, or challenges in the workplace, you know, like challenges of adapting, you know, learning new things, being able to perform, give quality service, stuff like that, you know. Basically I was strong enough, smart enough, I would say courageous enough to tackle everything. And luckily or miraculously, because of that, I ended up becoming a supervisor within that control room, which is very successful because most people didn't really believe in themselves, but I already did, thanks to Narisek. Basically, it built my character to that point that I started to like really love myself, believe in myself, trust myself, respect myself that much, to the point that even closed doors, I opened them, basically. So that's what happened. And right now, I'm still working under the company and I'm giving my good service, and the place is also treating me well. So everything is really good. I would like to encourage almost everyone, youth person, people out there, to join the Narisek program, because it really helps a lot of kids out there, young people who have already given up, who have no hope, I would say. Some who still do, actually. I was one of them. I mean, when I joined Narisek, I was, I think, doing a gap year. By default, I didn't really choose to be in a gap year. It was just school problems. But it really helped me a lot, because before Narisek, I was a very shy, reserved person who really did not, I don't know, have much to offer. Really, really scared, you know? Not really smart. I didn't really believe in myself, never really courageous or intelligent, I would say. But after the Narisek program, it really cooked me. It changed me for the better, basically. So I would encourage every young person to join it. It will really help you worthwhile. But I also would like to say and advise that it has to come within you, within yourself. You have to make that choice as an individual. It's not something you should partake on because of your some family members are joining, or some of your friends in your hometown are also choosing to be part of the program. It has to be a choice that you take as an individual, because it's not easy. Jokes aside, it's not easy, but it is quite worth it within whatever challenges or whatever the struggles you may face within the program. But it's very necessary in terms of helping you to develop a strong character to tackle the real world, basically. So I encourage everybody. Then you might end up having a successful story like me. Thank you. Okay, so in closing, or in conclusion, I'd like to just say it out loud. I'm Narisek, and Narisek is me. It's part of me. Thank you so much.